interesting few weeks, hasn't it? You know, in my 30-some years, I have never experienced anything of what's been happening with this outbreak, and it is truly alarming in a way. And I've decided that I would like for life to continue on as it has been for all the years of my life. You know, I keep saying that I was born and have lived in kind of a golden era. We haven't had any wars. We haven't had, we've had small depressions, little ups and downs, but nothing that has affected my family. I have never gone without food. I've never gone without a home or even a vehicle or animals. Or clothes. There has never been a time in my life where there has been huge lack. That doesn't mean that we haven't struggled in different ways. You know, being married is kind of hard sometimes, right? But really, life has been pretty good. And it has been amazing to see what has happened in the last couple weeks in our nation. It's been eye-opening, really. You know, Bill and I, we would definitely not call ourselves preppers. I probably am deep down more of a prepper than we actually are. And during these times, it kind of rises that desire up more. And it is interesting because Bill said, you know, I've always just kind of talked to you about those things because you want to talk about it. But wow, I'm starting to kind of see maybe that we should be a little bit more prepared. And you know, I think a lot of people are feeling that way. And it's interesting that about a year ago, I started writing in my journal and writing down ideas of something that I've wanted to do. That probably actually does reveal that I'm more of a prepper than I let on. You know, I have thought for quite a while that I want to do something that would be along the lines of preparing for a disaster, whether that be an EMP or an outbreak or something, or even just an earthquake or tornado, something that disturbs life, where the power is out, where things are just disturbed and we don't have access to our normal infrastructure. And that's something, seriously, about a year ago, I have been writing notes, and I have in all my notebooks all these ideas of what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and I've just never done it. Because honestly, the idea that I have is huge. It's a huge undertaking. But the idea is that I think as a family, as a community, as a state, and as a nation, I think we need to have a plan for emergencies. It makes sense, right? We say that we need to, and we're told by financial advisors that we should have, you know, at least a month or 3 to 6 months, even a year worth of savings so that we can fall back on that if something were to happen. But when it comes to preparing for our animals or storing food so that we wouldn't have to go to the grocery store, sometimes I feel like we're made to feel like, oh, you're hoarding. Oh, that's not good. And I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't think we need to hoard. I don't think we need to be greedy, but I do think being prepared is wise. And you know, in times of crisis, like I was just talking with somebody, they said, yeah, our business is right across the street from a gun store and the shelves are completely bare. There is no ammo, nothing is left. And there is real fear. And that is alarming in a way, just because if I am prepared and somebody else isn't, that is when a new set of dilemmas can rise up. And if we could all collectively be more prepared than we are now, I think that, golly, I think that it would help us when we are faced with times like this. And And so that is why I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important. I've been thinking a lot about this week. You know, I love my goats, and I really think that you love your goats, or you wouldn't be watching videos about goats. And I've been working on my goat binder. I have been filling it out more and getting it updated. I've been working on sheets and thinking, oh, you know what? I didn't add this and I should have. And I have added more bonuses. And with this week, I thought, you know what? We need to have an emergency preparedness for goats list as well. Because right now, you know, my goats aren't sick. There's nothing going on. But if something were to happen, that things were shut down, like really shut down, and we weren't able to get supplies and medications, and if, you know, all bandages and things that were, that if your goat got a wound and were all sold out because needed elsewhere, which I totally understand that people obviously are way more important than goats. But if we can have the things on hand that we need just in case, I think that's wisdom right there. And this is something that I wrote on the bottom of this. So this is going to be a new bonus in my goat binder. And so it will be all ready to go. If you've already bought the binder, please log in and get it downloaded. If you haven't downloaded the other bonuses, because I keep adding, do that. Go in there and get them printed out. But I put this at the bottom. There's no harm in hoping for the best as long as you're prepared for the worst. I really do live with rose-colored glasses. I want life to continue on as it has been. I really, really do. And I'm going to do everything that I can to pray and hope that that does happen. But wisdom says to be prepared for the worst. And I really think that as a goat owner, it'd be wise for you as well. Because maybe things won't get completely shut down ever, but how many times and what is the probability of your goat getting sick or wounded on the weekends, on a Friday night at 9 o'clock or Saturday or Sunday? The likelihood of that happening is exponential. I mean, I think every time that I've had a goat that went into labor, the one time that I had serious issues, it was on a weekend. And the vets are so wonderful, and he did come out and all of that, but it will happen on the weekend and it's harder to get supplies. So even if we get past this crisis and there's never a crisis again, please let that be. You will at least be prepared for that crisis on the weekend. And so I just wanted to go through really quick and just talk through what this can look like. Being prepared is really important, I think, in all aspects of life, but sometimes we just don't have the time to do that, right? I mean, golly, life is so busy, and sometimes we just don't have time to do it all, and we think, it's on the list, I'm gonna do it someday, right? So I think one of the most important things to be prepared, or to be on your way to being prepared, is to have information like this, like for your goats, having it all printed out in a folder where it's not online, it's not out there somewhere, where you actually have the information in your hand is really important. And I think that goes for canning, for preserving food, for medicinal herbs, and making tinctures and all kind. I mean, this could go to every. There are so many things I want to learn, and I really believe and should do this. I just, for some things, haven't yet. But it would be wise for me to get things printed out now, so that if something were to happen where I didn't have access to it later, that I would still have it in my hands to be able to learn if it weren't, online. And so just think about that as you're preparing for things. My guineas wanted to add a little bit too. They have a lot to say. They think being prepared is important. Okay, so behind me and around me, I've kind of just pulled out everything that I had in here and in the house, because I wanted to go through quickly what I think that some of the things that I have on hand anyway. Some of what's on my list here isn't things that I have, but maybe in your area it would be important. It would at least be something to think about. Now, I really think that for your particular situation, you need to decide what's wise for you, and I don't think it necessarily will be the same for me or you or somebody else. We each need to make our own informed decision for our own specific situation and what's going on, and make decisions from there. So you may say, well, you know, I don't need that, so I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have 3 or 6 months worth of that or something. Does that make sense? So it might not be the same exactly, and you may not need everything on this list, and there may be something that you think, oh, I need to get that written down and put on the list. All right, we're going to end there. That was just my take on what's going on in the world, and also how you can be prepared and why you should be prepared for emergencies. It's so important. We just don't know what's coming, do we? I'm heading out to my goats. They found a new bale where the cows and the horses are. So I'm heading out to see what they found, the goofy goats. So got the horses, cows, and the goats all eating off of this hay bale. So I was going to originally have all of this information in one video, and it ended up being like 45 minutes long, and I don't know, I know that's probably too long, although I really think the information is helpful. So I split it up into several videos, and so this one was kind of the why you should be prepared, what's going on in the world type of a thing. And so thank you for watching me with this. But the next video, I really encourage you to click over and watch the next video that I will have out that will be about the actual supplies, medicines, everything you need on hand that is really essential for emergencies when you just don't know what's coming and what things will be available. And it's not just about, you know, the situation that we're in now. It's also about on the weekends. Sometimes, usually, things happen on the weekends when things are less available. So we need to have and be prepared for emergencies no matter what. So click on over to that video now. It is longer. I tried to cut out as much as possible. So it was not too long, but just the information takes a bit to share and go through. I didn't want it to be like, you need this, and this. Goodbye. So I did share a bit of information about each one. So I hope you can really take to heart that next video, and because I really think it's important. I think there's so much information about goats that's important, but emergencies do happen and we need to be prepared. It really just gives us that sigh of relief when we know what to do in a situation. So have a great day. I thank you for joining me in this video, and stay safe out there. Stay healthy. You know, spend a lot of time with your goats. They're safe. All right, have a great day.